I was born a Holmes, Holmes. Reuben Holmes is my father. It's interesting, very interesting. My mother was the youngest in her family, and she was not liked very much by her mother, who told her that. She had an older sister and brother who were allowed to go through school. She had to stop school in the 5th grade so she could work and help the family. Papa Jim, her father, was friends with a man by the name of Reuben Holmes. They both worked at the steel mill. And Reuben Holmes had a little boy and had just recently lost his wife. So he needed a mother and a housekeeper. So Papa Jim says, Mary Flora. That was my mother's name. So they got married. My mother knew nothing about anything.
So it was arranged?
It was arranged. Mm-hmm. As a matter of fact, she thought if a boy's elbow touched your elbow, you get pregnant.
Oh.
That's how out of it she was. And I can't begin to imagine the terror of her on their wedding night. When he went off to work, he locked her in, and she finally escaped and went to her uncle's house. When she arrived there, she was pregnant. Later on, I found out that she had Auntie was her name. A mean lady, even beyond Southern Belle. Anyway, Auntie lived in Chicago, and whenever I would go to Chicago, I'd visit Auntie. And one day, Auntie said, Lord, girl, I'm so happy your mama didn't get rid of you. And I thought, no, I do not disbelieve in abortion. But we're talking about me here.
Yes, that's right.
So when I got back to LA, I told Mama about what Auntie said. She said, no, girl. Got back to Uncle's house, and they found out I was pregnant. So Auntie went to get some tea in order to abort me.
Oh.
My mother never experienced love and caring. And what it was that she taught us was responsibility and duty. That's what she knew. And I think she fell in love once. But outside of that, it was all obligation and whatever. She was an incredible woman. Now, we moved out to Los Angeles because of my stepfather's health. His name's Zadok.
What an odd name.
It's the name of a priest in the Bible. Zadok Filius. Oh, that's a pretty name.
Oh,
right?
It is a pretty name.
And he's the closest thing to a saint I've ever seen in a human being. I really lucked out with parents.
Yes, you did.
So he had developed a lung condition that they treated as if it were tuberculosis. It developed into tuberculosis about 10 minutes before he died, my mother said they had in the medical books. The doctor said they should move to a drier climate. Now, I don't know if Los Angeles was drier than Alabama. Didn't make any difference because they were going to go to where other Alabamians were. I mean, they are just like this. And forget the family, huh? Clothes they glued together. Okay. So Daddy and Uncle Otto got in the car, drove to Los Angeles. He found a home and a job, and he sent for us. It was my baby sister, whom I just lost about 3 months ago. she was supposed to be with me for the rest of my life. But you know, before the classical training was the church. And so that was there already. Jimmy and I, my sister Jimmy, and I were growing up at the end of the big band era. In Los Angeles, we had on the radio rhythm and blues. We had popular ballads. We had big bands. Daddy would take us every week when they changed the bill at the Colored Theater to hear the big bands. I heard all those bands, and it's no wonder I'm halfway decent because I had some good music put into me.
All kinds of music.
And on Saturday afternoons or mornings, came the Metropolitan Opera, and Saturday night came the Grand Ole Opry.
The Grand Ole Opry.
Yes, and
All right.
Daddy was going to listen to that, whether I made faces or not. And it's amazing when I got into folk music how much I remembered of the music I thought I was not listening to. I remembered.
You remembered
Yeah.
all those combinations.
Yeah.
That is wonderful. What tours or performances stand out in your mind as having touched and inspired you more than others? Any particular ones?
Soviet Union was pretty special. I don't remember what there was. I'm terrible with years.
Yeah, that's okay.
But there was an energy. We did not understand the same language, but there was a energy and a giving that was extraordinary.
You were a solo performer?
Until we got to the bureaucrats, and that took a little time.
I also understand that you toured with Miriam Makeba and Nina Simone at one
Oh,
point.
was that special?
That must have been the three of you. I wish I could have seen that
Well,
show.
we wanted to bring it here, but there was some kind of a money lag or something.
Oh, so it was outside of the States?
It was in the south of Italy,
In Italy.
in the resort towns in the south of Italy, which was not hard to take.
No, I don't think so.
And Nina loved the water. We get into the place, she's in a bathing suit and in the pool. Now, all of us had been running into each other through the years, and we had a sense of liking each other. But in performing and traveling, you're gone.
Yes.
You know, hi, you're gone. So the presenters of Miss Makeba asked her if she could put a show together, what would she want? And she said, Nina, Simone, and Odetta, and myself.
What a powerful trio.
Now, we sang individually there. And I was thinking, now, as it is brought to the States, perhaps what we could do is Miriam representing Mama Africa, myself representing what it was that we remembered and brought, and then added whatever other stuff from other communities in the United States. And that would be the country part.
The people.
And then moving into cities and big cities, where the spiritual became the gospel and country blues became city blues, on into big bands, on into jazz represented by Nina Simone.
Fantastic. What
It would have been
show.
quite
It must have
something.
been.
I think.